Racism is a pervasive issue that affects people globally, crossing boundaries of race, culture, and religion. Throughout all of history, individuals have faced discrimination based on their appearance or beliefs, often clashing with traditional views.
One of the most harrowing examples of racism was during World War II, when 6 million Jews and countless others were murdered by the Nazis, who believed in their racial superiority. In modern times, we see constant conflict in the Middle East, where cultural and religious differences lead to violence, affecting not only local communities but also international relations.
Even in Hong Kong, a city celebrated for its cultural diversity, cases of discrimination against ethnic minorities continue to arise. An Indian man shared in a CNN interview, "I've always considered Hong Kong my home, but I've always felt like an outsider." A 2016 government report revealed that more than half of the Pakistani community in Hong Kong lives below the poverty line, highlighting the systemic neglect of ethnic minorities. Around YCIS, there are many people of different ethnicities who may have experienced racism. In the next segment, we will conduct interviews with individuals from various ethnic backgrounds at YCIS to explore their individual experiences with racism and gain unique insights into this pressing issue.
I haven't really seen racism per se. It's more people playing on stereotypes, and some thinking that stereotypes are true. So I'd say it's more stereotypes that are believed than actual racism. And across it would be for different nationalities mainly.
As a white person living in Hong Kong, I'm quite fortunate really, because I've not experienced a lot of racism, barely any. But I have seen and heard racism towards black and brown people in Hong Kong, and I've even seen it heard it in the school. I've had to get annoyed at students a few times for throwing the N-word around, probably not understanding what that word means and why it's so bad. So yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's see, the one incident, but even so, I'm not sure it is racism, but walking down the MTR with Mr. Hocking to Central, and a group of store students call out, "Hey, African girl!" And I'm not from Africa, I'm from the UK, so I didn't say anything, I just carried on walking. Mr. Hocking did say something.
Yeah, it's racism that I've experienced is I grew up in a small town in the UK, which is quite a countryside town, and because there's not a lot of people there who aren't white, there's a lot of what is called casual racism just thrown around, just jokes about people who aren't white, and it's quite disgusting really.
I think it would come through education, and YCIS has made a start with regards to that, because we've got a number of different ethnicities that are working here, especially amongst our teachers.
I think overall, possibly in the school and other places in Hong Kong, just better education is needed. I don't think people quite realise why the N-word is such a bad word, and why it shouldn't be thrown around, and what people have gone through other cultures, especially like black and brown people, and the persecution that they faced. It's quite horrible really, and it's something that not a lot of kids in this school probably know. And just that feeling as well of being racially abused, probably something they've never been through.
I think a lot of it goes to being open-minded, so sometimes it's not taking the person for, most of the time racism is very visual. We think a person, because they look a certain way, is going to behave a certain way, so it's more trying to understand that each person is different and get to know the person before we make a decision of how we're going to interact with them or the comments that we're going to make.
In the end, we hope that this video helped you understand what people of other ethnicities and culture experience and gave you an idea of what it feels like to be discriminated against. We hope it showed you why you should be careful what you say and do, and how even small actions can make others feel uncomfortable, and that it is important to not mistreat anybody, different or not.